Good evening. London Underground passengers had been promised that by now they'd be riding brand new state-of-the-art Piccadilly line trains, but yet another delay has thrown a spanner in the works. The current carriages have been in service for more than half a century and are used for more than a tenth of all tube journeys every day. But the cramped, ageing trains have been causing a headache for customers for years. Now, because of issues with the technology on the new fleet, it could be June 2027 before the trains hit the tracks, to the tune of £400 million. Carolyn Sim reports.
They're so old, they're vintage. The Piccadilly Line's trains have been in service since the 1970s, but plans to replace them have been pushed down the line again. Transport for London wanted the new fleet delivered for late 2025, but the project was delayed for the first time to somewhere between June and December 2026. Now there's a second delay. The trains won't be ready until somewhere between December 2026 and June 2027. It's costing an extra £409 million, bringing the total to £3.4 billion. TfL told us it's partly down to ageing infrastructure, but admit it's a software problem too.
Software programs can be unpredictable, so we've built in a little bit of float in the program to rework software to make sure that we have that window so that we can be open and transparent to our customers of when these new trains are going to come.
Is that where most of the cost is coming from, redesigning the software?
Not particularly. There is some extra cost because we're taking longer to test the trains, but a lot of the extra cost is coming from our very old depots. These depots are 100 years old and we're trying to change them and transform them.
The 94 new trains being built by the company Siemens Mobility are highly technical, with air conditioning, CCTV and space saving to reduce overcrowding. So complex that TfL say you'd expect some issues to occur. But critics blame mismanagement.
We've got this project now costing millions of pounds more, years late. It's just complete incompetence from a distracted organisation.
Passengers are losing patience.
It is bad. It is one of the worst lines around. But we need new trains. So
I don't know what they're doing, but they need to, pull their finger out a little bit.
It really needs an update. I think everyone thinks it's right next to the Bakerloo line. Seems like one of the oldest lines.
Even when the new trains are ready to replace these old ones, the plan is to introduce them gradually, not all at once. So if you've got 94 in the fleet, it could take months or even years for it to be fully operational.
TfL say they want to get the project right to ensure the new trains are reliable and safe and will last another 40 years.
Well, Carolyn, this isn't the only costly setback for TfL, is it?
No, that's right. They announced today that a new fleet of DLR trains won't now be in service until the end of the summer. That's a 2-year delay on that project. Now, those new trains were withdrawn late last year because one of them overshot a runway. They're now working on the braking system and refitting them with a device to stop the wheels from slipping. TfL haven't yet calculated the cost of that delay, by the way. But they told me today that putting new trains into service isn't like buying a new fleet of cars. It's far more complex, but it is costly. And passengers, of course, say it's taking way too long.
Yeah. All right. Carolyn, thank you very much. A 13-year-old has appeared in court accused of stabbing 2 boys in the neck at a school in Brent. The boy, who can't be named for legal reasons, faces 4 charges, including 2 counts of attempted murder. Kath Opata is at the Old Bailey this evening. Kath, what was heard in court today?
Well, the criteria hearings like these are nothing more than a timetabling exercise, a chance for the judge to set a date for the plea hearing and the trial. Now, you might remember last month I stood outside the Kingsbury High School in Brent following reports of 2 boys being stabbed on school grounds. Now, the boy accused of those stabbings was in court today. He appeared via video link. His father was also present, albeit sat in the public gallery. Then came the reading out of the charges such as possessing a knife and 2 counts of attempted murder. On the 3rd of July, we'll have the plea hearing. That's when the 13-year-old will either accept the crimes of which he's accused of or plead not guilty. If he does indeed plead not guilty, then we proceed to a trial. However, it won't be until November this year that the trial is scheduled to start. Expected to last around 3 weeks, but we'll bring you those updates as and when they come in.
All right, Kath, at the Old Bailey, thank you very much. Some other news now, and a man in Ireland has been charged with the murder of a London tourist who died 2 months ago after an alleged assault. Anthony Heron was taken to hospital after the incident in Dublin's Temple Bar area in August last year. He was transferred to a high dependency ward at London's King's College Hospital but died in October. 22-year-old Dara O'Brien has been charged with murder. The leader of Islington Council has told Thames Water to, quote, get your act together. It came in an open letter to the company's boss, Chris Weston, following a devastating flood on Caledonian Road on Tuesday. Councillor Una O'Halloran said in the letter that for too long, Thames Water has neglected maintenance and infrastructure improvements, causing floods that ruin homes and businesses. Thames Water says it's sorry for the disruption and has specialist staff on the ground supporting customers as repairs take place. And the government has confirmed that the deaths of dozens of swans in East London is due to a particularly lethal strain of bird flu. Upwards of 50 birds have been found dead in the Thames around West India Quay and Canary Wharf this week. The public are advised not to touch or pick up any dead or visibly sick birds. Next tonight, a man has been arrested after a statue of Sir Winston Churchill was vandalised in Westminster. Red graffiti covered the statue in Parliament Square, branding the former Prime Minister as Zionist war criminal. Other phrases, including "Stop the Genocide" and "Free Palestine," were sprayed in red paint on the bronze sculpture. Our reporter Stuart Robertson is there for us now. And Stuart, what more can you tell us?
Well, for over 50 years, this statue of arguably Britain's most famous Prime Minister has stood facing Parliament. And tonight, as you can see, maybe over my shoulder, it's beginning to look as it normally does, with all of that red paint now removed. Now, it was at around 4 o'clock this morning that police say that the statue of Sir Winston Churchill was attacked, with phrases like "Stop the Genocide" and "Free Palestine" sprayed onto it, as well as branding Churchill as a Zionist war criminal. Now, several hours after the attack happened, a cleaning team arrived here at Parliament Square to begin to power hose the bronze bust. Now, it did take several hours, but tourists and Londoners alike were walking past wondering what was going on, and people who spoke to me on the street gave a mixed response to what had happened. You think it's fair?
Absolutely not, and especially not on good old Winston.
It's important that people do come here and protest, and maybe that is a fair protest.
Do it the right way. Block an intersection, as long as you have a permit, do whatever you want. This kind of stuff that just costs people time and money, it doesn't draw any sympathy to your cause.
I don't know if it is that bad. I mean, if you have a cause that really, grabs you.
Well, a 38-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of racially aggravated criminal damage. Later this afternoon, he was also arrested on suspicion of supporting Palestine Action, which, of course, at this stage still remains a proscribed terrorist organisation.
All right, Stuart, in Parliament Square there, thank you very much. Now, despite promises from the Met that it will step up local policing to keep our communities safe, some Londoners are about to face their first weekend without a walk-in police counter. People in Richmond have spoken to us about their concerns over the closure of Twickenham's police station front counter. It's one of 10 facing the chop and is a result of what the force has called a tough choices strategy, where it aims to balance the budget while delivering an efficient frontline service. But will it make locals feel protected? Here's Divya Kohli.
It's always provided around-the-clock face-to-face service for its community. The last of Richmond Borough's in-person police front counters, but not for much longer.
Twickenham prides itself on having a police station, one that people could just walk into. From tomorrow, the front desk is closed for good, and along with it, reassurance and support for the community.
Well, I'd rather it stayed open, and if it is going to close, will there be a sign on there saying, if it's an emergency, this is where you go to?
We have the rugby here. You know, the front desk of a police station in an environment like that, you know, it's like you're not having a police station next to Wembley.
I think kind of this service is something that's really important for the community.
Well, I think a lot of people want to go to speak to someone face to face, so I think it's really important to have a person. It's a bit like the banks and things like that. A lot of people can't work IT and they want to speak to somebody, so I think it's really sad.
10 police counters will close across London. The Met says it's to plug a £260 million funding gap. It will instead prioritise putting more officers on the streets, something Diako Yari is calling for after being mugged in a local park last month.
Really need it. I don't know how to say it. You see what's happening, you know. This is one of the examples. We need more police here around, and we need to give them more power, not get the power from them.
We understand that the Met Police is under a lot of pressure, and that's why I've been pressing the government to make sure that they're funded properly, because the police front counter is such an important part of our community for people to be able to go and report crime, particularly vulnerable people. The police say they want to put that money into frontline policing, so I'm going to be holding the Met and the Mayor's feet to the fire to make sure that we get our bobbies on the beat in return.
In December, Richmond Council launched legal action against the Met and the Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime over the closure.
People want to be able to go in and talk to a police officer if they need to. They don't want to go to the little yellow phone box on the sides of the police station in order to report a rape or a serious sexual assault. They want to go in and speak to somebody, and that's what's going to be withdrawn from them when this police front counter closes tomorrow.
The force says only 5% of crime is reported to front counters, which is why they're making this change. But some say it's irresponsible. 200,000 residents will have to go to Kingston, Hounslow or Hammersmith for an in-person service. A judicial review is pending to get the decision overturned. Campaigners say the closure is the result of broken promises. Divya Kohli, ITV News.
Still to come on the programme. Find out what's occurring at the Peckham Cafe, championing Welsh food in London ahead of St David's Day, and the London-born stars hoping to top the list at tomorrow night's Brit Awards. But first, as far as London memorabilia goes, these are probably the largest you'll find for any collection. 5 1960s Routemaster double-decker buses are set to go under the hammer, giving people the chance to own a bona fide piece of the capital's history. Before they go off to their new homes, they've made a scheduled stop in West Ham, from where Anila Dami sent this report.
It's got all the latest refinements, including winking trafficators. It'll seat 8 more passengers than the present type, and is lighter into the bargain, which may persuade them to take something off the fares, I wonder.
Well, it's been a while since you could walk off the back of an open London bus and have a place to put your used tickets. This is one of 5 from the 1960s being sold off at auction. The big red bus, a staple of the city. And I'm joined now by Nigel Binks from Wilson's Auctions.
Hello.
Nigel, who have you had interest from for these?
Well, we've had a huge amount of interest from all over the world. Some people would like to restore these back to where they were when they were first built. Other people want to buy them to restore and turn into mobile bars, mobile restaurants, Airbnbs. There's a range of different uses that people are looking to convert them to.
How exciting is this for you?
Massively exciting. We're so privileged and proud to be able to bring these buses to market.
And you were saying that this one is part of a children's trilogy?
Yes, this old bus is Rodney the Routemaster, and he is the inspiration behind the trilogy of children's books.
Nigel, thank you. Let's find out a bit more about the history of these buses. I'm joined now by Lorna Murphy from TfL. Lorna, tell us a bit about the history of these buses.
Well, these buses are just iconic, aren't they? And actually this is a really special year because 70 years ago they first went into service, and since then they've carried millions of customers across the capital, and I think they are what people think of when they think of the traditional London red bus.
And how does TfL feel to be part of this auction?
I think it's a really special thing for us to be able to deliver the opportunity for people to buy into a slice of London's heritage, the country's heritage, and to own a red Route Master bus. How special is that?
Yeah, Lorna, thank you. And they have some really extraordinary features, like you can see here. And a part of London's history will be going under the hammer next Wednesday.
Anila Dalmi reporting there. Now let's take a look at the weekend sports.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Arsenal will face Bayer Leverkusen away in the Champions League round of 16 after today's draw at UEFA's headquarters. North London rivals Spurs face a trip to Atletico Madrid in the same blue side of the draw. Meanwhile, Chelsea will have to travel away to the current holders, Paris Saint-Germain, to progress in their side of the draw. A tough group, which includes Liverpool, Manchester City and Bayern Munich. The first legs will be played on March the 10th and 11th, with the second legs scheduled for March the 17th and 18th. Well, Chelsea manager Liam Rossignol says it's going to be a good match.
So these are games you live for. These are the games that you come into football for, and it's going to be a great tie between two fantastic teams. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to it, but we've got another 3 games before that I need to focus on.
Meanwhile, looking to the Premier League matches this weekend, Arsenal host Chelsea in one of Sunday's London derbies. The Gunners currently sit at the top of the league and are looking for another statement result to secure their title. Manager Mikel Arteta hopes the team's preparation has given them enough confidence to win against Chelsea.
They've done different things. They can change throughout the game. They have the players and they have a manager that is very comfortable doing that. So we are prepared. We're going to be prepared in the possible scenarios that we can face throughout the game, and then try to be better than them.
Well, the rest of this weekend's fixtures are on your screens now. Brentford and West Ham travel away tomorrow. On Sunday, Fulham host Spurs and Crystal Palace play Manchester United. Super League netball is back this weekend, with London Pulse welcoming Manchester Thunder to Stratford's Copper Box tonight. And excitement is building for followers of London Mavericks, who played 2 of their league games at the Essex Sports Arena this season. They start in Hertfordshire tomorrow, though, against Nottingham Forest. They are one of 2 new franchises introduced as part of the revamp of the NSL. And the Mavericks believe the big changes, including reducing the number of teams from 10 to 8, made for some exciting netball. Donovan Baker caught up with them.
We knew that, losing 2 teams and having a smaller amount of teams competing was going to be harder, because obviously the pool of players is smaller. So we knew there'd be some nail biters. We probably didn't expect us to have so many, but I think it was really great for us to recognise that as a group that we can push through and come across on the right side of the score at the end.
The new franchises which were introduced, Birmingham and Nottingham, how did you think they coped with their first season?
Yeah, I think they had exceptional seasons. I mean, the Forest brand was really exciting for all of us as a sport, to have a football team involved, and to have so much investment from them, not only in terms of what they're doing in the backing, but also in the colours and the brand. I think was really exciting. And I think that showed with the calibre of players that they were able to bring in and the results they had last season. I mean, it was a personal battle between us and Forest to get into that top 4. And again, with Panthers as well, I think everybody knew they had to rip the band-aid off and do something spectacular and different, and I feel we've been at the forefront of that with Mavericks in terms of what our owners are trying to achieve, not only in netball but as a female sport in a whole. And I think every team has brought something else to the table, and it's also pushed those existing clubs. Manchester Thunder have been around forever, London Pulse, who have had longer to build, Loughborough Lightning the same. So I think it's been a growth together.
A reminder of our top story in London tonight. There has been yet another delay to the new fleet of Piccadilly line trains, meaning they may not be rolled out until June 2027. The new high-tech carriages were already supposed to be on the tracks. One of the noted issues is problems with the software on the new trains, which are rigged up with CCTV, air conditioning and location services. The delay is expected to cost an additional £400 million, taking the total cost of the project up to £3.4 billion. In 2 days, the capital's Welsh diaspora will be celebrating St David's Day, and from the Welsh Centre in central London to a Welsh-speaking school in Ealing, there are pockets of Cymru all over London, and now there's a really tasty addition. Already a thriving foodie hotspot, Peckham has got something new on the menu, named after the Welsh word for bread. It seems customers can't get enough of bara, whose owners have brought a slice of the valleys to SE15, as Daisy Bucell reports.
When you think of Welsh culture coming to London, you might picture this.
Stis, tomorrow morning you are travelling to London, England.
Or this.
England and Wales going at it here for the 144th time.
But maybe not this.
It's a Philly cheesesteak and a tofu.
Bara is a new Welsh-inspired cafe just opened in Peckham, the brainchild of South Londoner Zoe Hyman and Sissy Dalladay, who was born and raised in South Wales.
So bara means bread in Welsh, so that is kind of the concept behind the cafe. Welsh cuisine, there's cawl and there's like Welsh cakes and barbrith and stuff, but we're kind of trying to use some of the traditional Welsh ingredients and make it a little bit more modern.
Here on Rye Lane, hungry locals and visitors can get their hands on food from all over the world. From Nigerian jollof rice and Jamaican jerk chicken, there are also options for Lebanese, Vietnamese, Italian and Indian cuisines. And now, just up the road, there's Welsh as well.
Serving up classics and modern twists, the aim is to give authentic Welsh ingredients a new lease of life.
So we've got a Philly cheesesteak, which is like a take on a Philly cheesesteak but with Philly cheese and Welsh brisket.
And then Lemuri lamb harissa focaccia.
And then this is barbrith, which is like a Welsh tea cake.
Any salt and vinegar or anything?
No, I'm going to wait for the curry sauce.
Oh, what is it with the Welsh and curry sauce?
While differences in regional appetites can divide us,
What's wrong with just having a dry chip?
here at Bara, it's all about bringing people together.
It's been lovely to see kind of these two different kind of groups of people mixing.
There was a kind of a severe lack of representation of Welsh food in London, so it's something new and different, so people are really excited by that.
There's a few things on the menu that remind me of being back in Wales, which is great.
We'll bring the in-laws here when they come down and visit.
That's right.
I'm always telling you the Wales is better than England, though. So.
Yeah, but that's usually during the Six Nations, so...
I saw the doormat and I was like, straight away, took a picture, sent it to my mum, and I was like, look where I am.
As well as flying the flag for Wales, Bara also hopes to provide opportunities for minority and marginalised communities.
Eventually we would like to do kind of like an entry to work scheme, like prison leavers and like care leavers. So it's just something that I think we really are passionate about.
So whether you're from Camden or Caerphilly, Pembrokeshire or Poplar, thanks to the work of people like Zoe and Sissy, Welsh Dragons, Londoners and everyone else will always be welcome here in Peckham. Daisy Bucell, ITV News.
Well, St David and the great country of Wales aren't the only things to celebrate on Sunday, as March the 1st marks the beginning of meteorological spring. But will the weather live up to the season? Well, here's Aisling with that all-important forecast.
A breezy morning will be followed up with a flurry of fresh delights for lunch. TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather.
Hello there, a very good evening to everyone at home. We all got to see a little bit of sunshine here and there this afternoon, and into the weekend. It will be bright on Saturday by the afternoon, and it will also feel fresher as well. It's been a very mild week of weather, but temperatures dropping back to where we would expect for the time of year. Now, it is going to be wet on Sunday, outbreaks of rain throughout much of the day. A little settles though into next week, and with the settled weather we will see the return of something a little bit milder as well. But there are a few showers around at the moment. The showers becoming much more frequent as we head through this evening and overnight. A little bit blustery as well. And by tomorrow morning, a fresher start certainly than we've had through this week. Temperatures dropping back to around 7 degrees Celsius. So first thing on Saturday morning, plenty of showers around. It's a little bit blustery as well. I think it will feel a little bit chilly. Into the afternoon, brightening up. Always the possibility of 1 or 2 showers, but most of us finishing off on a dry note, some sunshine around. But temperatures dropping back to where we would expect. But I think relative to how it's felt this week, it will feel a little fresher, even where we have that sunshine. But let's just take a look at the bigger picture from Saturday into Sunday. This little ridge sits in through Saturday evening. That means dry and settled. But down to the southwest, we've got plenty of weather fronts to spread in. So this is how it's starting off on Sunday morning. Wet for all of us. These isobars tightly packed as well. So it will be quite blustery through Sunday with outbreaks of rain on the way. Now, it will very slowly settle down through Saturday evening. At the moment, Monday looks to be dry and fine, a touch milder as well, but temperatures getting up to 13 degrees. Take care, have a wonderful weekend.
TUI sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Now, before we go, tomorrow night, Manchester will be taking the reins from London when it hosts the biggest night in British music. Although the Brit Awards ceremony may have left the capital, plenty of our very own homegrown stars are following it with nominations in top categories. Fresh from her very first Grammy win, Haringey's Olivia Dean is up for 4 awards, including Artist of the Year, Best Song for Man I Need, and Album of the Year for The Art of Loving. Croydon's Lola Young joins her in the Artist of the Year and Song of the Year categories with her hit Messy up for a gong. She's also up for 3 other awards, including Breakthrough Artist.
And they were like, hey, you got the lead in a play. You gotta be back in London for rehearsals in May.
Well, from breakthroughs to comebacks, also up for Artist of the Year is Hammersmith's Lily Allen. Her new record, West End Girl, is also up for Album of the Year. And on her one night off from a run of 4 shows at London's O2 Arena this week, Croydon superstar Ray is up for Song of the Year with Where Is My Husband, and joins Olivia, Lola and Lily in the running for Best Pop Act. And good luck to all 4 for tomorrow night when the 2026 Brit Awards will be live on ITV and ITVX from 8 o'clock. But that's it from us. The evening news is next with Charlene, but from us, the whole London team, bye-bye. Have a great evening.